Hello and welcome back everyone to Space Simulation Toolkit. And last time we were on this beautiful map with our beautiful human with legs. We killed him a couple of times. Sorry. I do feel a little bit bad about it. So we're going to protect him this time. That's right, Spike Viper, protection guarantee. It's kind of like the Mafia, but not the Mafia. I'm much weaker than the Mafia. Yes, that's right. Today we're going full OSHA and we are going to protect instead of attack. Alright, so I want to test a helmet. Like, helmets are cool. You wear them when you're riding your bike. You wear them when you are in the military. They're supposed to protect you from things, right? This is the simplest helmet ever. It is literally just a giant block of metal, which would probably be very heavy and uncomfortable. But we're going to see if we go ahead, and I'm actually going to put a few of these down so that I can compare with the same sized object. And let's see what happens if something hits him in the head. Let's see if this is OSHA approved headgear. Alright, we have... Oh, God! It did very little. I'm gonna be honest, that did barely anything to protect his skull. Oh my goodness, his entire skull just broke off. Okay, yeah, honestly, I don't think that was that much better. I mean, let's see what it looks like if I hit him in the back of the head without a helmet. Wow. Some of you who are in the safety space are going to say how this was not a good piece of protective head. Yeah, okay, his spine, everything, just, yeah. Okay, so a solid piece of metal does not make a good helmet. This probably doesn't shock some of you. There's a reason we don't just make giant pieces of metal for your helmet. Hard hats and stuff, football helmets, they're all designed very specifically to protect your head. So I'm going to try to make a realistic helmet that isn't going to end in his death. It'll also be thinner. I'm going to try to make a really thin, really realistic helmet that is going to save this dude's life. Because I am an expert at helmet design. Or something along those lines, I guess. I'm pretending to be an expert. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and build this again, this thinner thing, and we're gonna put some pads because part of the issue is it just slamming into his head, right? You don't want a helmet to just slam into someone's head. You want it to be kind of cushioned. So we're gonna put some of these rubber, these are actually plastic, but in our case it would be more like foam pads, which are gonna transmit the force to the head without it just slamming into it. I think this alone is going to make a big difference, but that's not all. A big part of the problem is that this helmet just directly transmits the force into the skull. You don't want to do that. You want to displace the force in a different direction than the skull. So what we're going to do is we're going to use some interesting engineering to fix that. I am going to go ahead and do the following. I am going to cut holes in this. So the idea here is that these little cells are going to collapse sideways and push the force horizontally instead of it being pushed directly into his frontal lobe. That's the hope, at least. We should be able to see if this design works pretty quickly. Alright, so we got our beautiful defense here. I don't want to make the ball smaller. I think that's about the size it was. Alright, yeah. Alright, so let's go ahead and see if my secondary design here for a helmet is more effective than the first. I'm not expecting him to survive this, because obviously this is a very thin helmet, and even though I did a little bit of design to make it safer, I mean, this is a giant steel ball moving very quickly, so... Oh, but look! Immediately we notice a difference. This helmet is squishing downwards. It's squishing instead of just moving into his skull. It's absorbing some of that energy. And you can see that the pad is trying to do its best at moving that force down without actually killing him. I mean, the skin is definitely getting compressed. We got some bruising. Actually, guys... The skull did not break. Like, yes, his skin just got torn, but did you see that? That was awesome! He actually didn't die! Like, Now you may be thinking, Spike, you did something, you like used a differently sized ball, but let me just show. I'll use that same ball again and throw it straight at his skull, and we're gonna see what would have happened without the helmet. Yeah. Wow, okay, so this design worked super well. I did not expect this to actually, like, right away work. This is why you wear a helmet, by the way. Always wear a helmet when you're riding a bike or a motorcycle. Alright. Okay. I am feeling pretty darn good. And I want to that was awesome, by the way. I'm very happy with how that turned out. But I want to make him an entire set of body armor now. Now that we know that this design works so well. I mean, it's so easy too. I wonder if I could even get away. I'm gonna try one more thing. I'm really curious if it even has to be made out of metal. I mean, doing the same thing just completely out of plastic. As long as it's displacing the force, maybe we can make a cheaper and more capable, lighter version like Kevlar. I'm gonna use a few tricks to make this work. Alright. Same thing as before, we're gonna make sure that it actually has these pads to move the force to his head instead of just, you know, crunching his brain. Oops, I accidentally removed some of his skin, but that's okay. Same thing here. I'm just gonna go ahead and make sure that I think this is also a little bit smaller, so this is definitely quite the test. I'm honestly not expecting him to survive this. This seems like a bit much. A bit much. But let's go ahead and make his body armor. Alright, now that we've given him a helmet, let's also give him a little bit of defense for his chest and body. We're gonna just use the exact same idea. I'm actually very excited to see how this goes. Like, that worked for the head way better than I had anticipated. With a little bit of padding, we may actually be able to make this dude pretty invulnerable to most attacks. I'm gonna try something a little bit different for the body, though. I'm still gonna try this design to displace the force, but I want a little bit more in order to absorb that. In order to absorb the energy, I'm going to attempt to fill this with a liquid. In the powder toy, I'd use colloids because they're a lot of fun. They harden in response to trauma. That's a reference. But I believe we can just use water for a similar effect. So let's go ahead, turn off, change exist, and I'm just going to fill these little holes with water. It's gonna freeze because of how the simulation is set up, but it's okay. In response to trauma, it's actually gonna melt because of the heat let out from the impact. So that may actually work really well. All right, let's go ahead and see how this works. We'll do the body armor. Actually, we'll do the helmet test first because I really do want to see. I don't know what happened here. I really do want to see if this plastic is capable of surviving an impact from a steel. I think it was a little bit bigger than that. From a steel projectile. This is massive too. Like, keep in mind that this projectile is absolutely massive. This is like a cannonball coming for your head. All right, test, and 3, 2, 1. All right, we have impact. It's definitely deforming more easily than the metal, but look at that! It bounced bounced right off! Oh my goodness! Wow, even the much more flexible, much less heavy plastic managed to save him. I am incredibly impressed. And let's go ahead and test this on the body armor as well. I mean, I'm expecting the exact same thing to happen, but it's a little bit larger. As you can see, oh, his ribs got pushed back and his organs definitely got flexed a little bit. And the body armor has kind of detached. But not really a bad result. Just kind of what you would expect. How am I going to connect this back? That's okay. I'm just going to... I'll just reconnect it to him just a little bit further off. It should still work, even if the pads are stupidly long. That's okay. Reconnect him. All right, his padding is back on. I actually want to test something different now. I have a feeling that this works really well for a blunt force trauma, but I feel like if we... Excuse me? Game? Oh no, that's a select tool. Whoops. I feel like if we turn this into a piece of shrapnel, we might get a different different result. This is where using metal is important. Shrapnel like this, I feel like, is just going to go straight through the plastic. And... oh, no, it caught it! No way! I mean, it wasn't moving very quickly. It wasn't moving very quickly at all. So let's go ahead and turn up the maximum velocity in the simulation. And let's go ahead and make this a little bit more bullet-shaped. Obviously, a bullet isn't that pointy. It's a little bit more rounded, but for our sake, I want to see penetration. Please do not quote me on that. Okay, much faster this time, and now let's see if it goes through. Oh, yeah, it slipped right through and straight into his... oh my god, it went straight through him. It went straight through him. Okay, now the question is, would we get the same result if we went ahead and added a little bit of metal? A metal layer around the plastic here. I'm gonna do it on both ends. Maybe I should tweak the settings a little bit because that was a little goofy. It just went straight through. I think I just threw it too fast for the simulation. I can also turn time steps up here so that it simulates a little bit more realistically. It should handle things a little bit better. Yeah, okay, there we go. Oh, no, it's going straight through. It's going straight through. Oh, oh! The entry and exit wounds are just brutal. His spine just got severed. Oh man, so we built like really good armor for the sake of protecting from blunt trauma, but when it comes to bullets, I feel like you kind of do need... I wonder if the best combination is just putting a big slab on top of the flexible, so that prevents it from like breaking his organs from the impact, but it's still enough to stop a bullet, hopefully. Alright, let's go ahead and see what happens. Obviously, the impact angle and stuff is going to make a huge difference, too. Alright, impacts the metal. Oh, that definitely got slowed down, but man, it's just going straight through him. Even with me messing with the settings a little bit. Let me see if I can... I really want to get this so that it simulates a little bit better with the collisions. Oh, man! Poor guy bounced off of his stomach. Let me try turning this all the way up to like 10. Alright. That's a little bit better. Okay, we may just have to turn the time step up really high. I'm gonna try 20. If my computer can handle simulating that much. These faster paced collisions just require a little bit more. Alright, let's see how this does. Is it just gonna phase through it? I know Mr. SST is gonna be in the comments telling me how to do this better. Oh man, the bullet really broke apart inside of him. That's rough. It's rough, buddy. Alright, I'm going to try something. I'm going to turn this all the way back down to 3. And then I'm going to use that setting that was added recently. This one. Which is supposed to make everything act a little bit more solid. I'm curious if that's the best setting to be doing this simulation with. It also makes everything feel like it's in slow motion, which is kind of cool. Alright, let's see what happens now. Oh, it got caught! No way! Whoa, right before slamming into his heart, too. Holy moly. Do you see that? The second layer caught it. Oh, man. That is insane. I really did not expect that. Okay, really little bullet. Let's see how this goes. Obviously, bullets in the real world are pretty small. These are more like massive tank shells being shot at him. Yeah, no, that went, oh, straight through him. Straight through. Whee! I think part of the issue is a few of the settings he's got on as well. But guys, overall, this has been really cool. Obviously, there's a bit of work to be done, but these designs, I am curious about one more thing. If I draw this pinned, or if I draw pinned, how do I make it do pinned draw? I don't remember how to do it, honestly. Is it in here? No, I'm just gonna have to layer shift it back. I was thinking I can actually create this without technically holes in it. I'm gonna have to fill this in all the way with plastic. Alright, watch this. Watch this. I've got an idea for a different design. Alright, so we put this helmet back together, right? And then instead of deleting it, we shift it backwards so it still adds rigidity, but not as much. Alright. Shift. Oh, that's how I do it. Okay, how do I shift back? Layer, shift, okay. Yeah! This makes it technically have a wall. It puts it into the third dimension. So it's not just like empty. If you understand what I'm saying. I'm curious how this affects the physics of it. But that's what we're gonna test now as a final test. I'm sure you guys can design some cool body armor. Hopefully based off of what you've learned here or what you know on your own. Not gonna act like I know better than everyone, but I think I've definitely done a little bit of pioneering now into SST body armor. I think I can say I've done at least a little bit. I'll reconnect this to his head. Hopefully it doesn't explode when I unpause. No, it didn't explode. I expected it to explode when I said that. Generally, when I say don't explode, things then immediately explode. Alright, let's try against some small particles. Okay, these settings are definitely just not playing nice. Turn this back down to normal. Okay, and let's go ahead and see what happens if we throw a metal ball at his head. Do a pretty large one. The maximum speed is turned up now, so this could turn very different. But I am curious to see if these cells in this crunch still. No, it acts much more solid. I mean, it still protected his head a little bit, but I liked it much more before. So yeah, actually having gaps allows it to spread the force much more evenly. Alright, fun things to know. Just to end this off, we're gonna steal his femur. And with that, thank you for watching. Leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed, and I'll see you all next time. Also, make sure to join Valor.gg, my platform where cool things happen. And links in description.